to him. A rundown of what else is happening. Charlotte with those details.
Thanks, Eamon. The Duchess of York claims she'd been drinking before allegedly offering access to her ex-husband for £500,000. In her first television interview since being secretly filmed by the News of the World, Sarah Ferguson told Oprah Winfrey she was in the gutter.
Thank you very much, everybody.
OK, we've got Darren Lyons in the studio this morning, bringing you the morning newspapers. Mr. Paparazzi himself. Very good to see you, Darren. And we start with a story in the Mirror, and the Queen's looking for £6 million from the public purse to pay for staff. Now, bear in mind, she hasn't had an increase in 20 years.
Absolutely. This is an interesting for views at sky.com one, I think. Should she get an extra £6 million? In fact, Sue Carroll in the Mirror writes a fantastic piece today. We've got a Labor MP Ian Davidson claiming that why in these tough times is the Queen getting more money. Sue Carroll's gone into great detail about where the bad smells occur within the royal family. You know, Andy, Air Miles Andrew, obviously the Fergie story recently, which Charlotte was discussing, and it's a really interesting piece. It's a really interesting comment from someone that is British and left wing, but certainly not a Republican. And I just like the way that she's really attacked this. But we must remember that the royal family costs not only this country only 69p a year, and
look what they bring in terms of tourism and, you know, publicity and status. And
I agree. And look,
Charlotte may not agree. I'm just looking at her over your shoulder
it's
here.
It's a bad time to be asking for a pay rise, really, isn't it?
Well, she's not asking for a pay rise. She's asking to maintain staff, I suppose. Would you begrudge the staff that pay rise, would you?
Well, in times of recession, I think it's everything's got to be looked at, and I think all staff have got to realise it's a tough time for businesses, including the monarchy.
Yes, but you know, this is Britain PLC. Should we not get real with this? Incidentally, what do you think of this business about these folk being paid more than the Prime Minister? I mean, maybe there's a case for saying the Prime Minister should be paid more.
Oh, I think the Prime Minister is underpaid. In fact, I think he should get a percentage of how much he can cut the country's debt. I think they should be on performance bonuses.
If I
don't care if he earns $1 billion. I really don't. If he's going to get the country in good shape, that's what he should earn. That's what British.
Do you know what I think is very strange?
Oh, really?
If I was head of the Army or the Navy, I'd want to know why the head of the Air Force was being paid more money than me. That's
Absolutely.
what I want to know.
Absolutely. I think this is a very strong point. I think the Prime Minister of this country is obscenely underpaid.
OK. Now, we've got a story, Charlotte. This is going to get you now. This is bears in China, caged.
Yeah, freed from the cages of hell, the full metal jacket bears. This is a wonderful story of a British charity that probably doesn't get that much publicity. Yeah, indeed. Animals Asia have just saved 10 bears from this hideous, draconian, barbaric devices used to extract bile for people's headaches. Now, I just say go and take a Nurofen, for Christ's sake. This is really upsetting for me, and it's quite an emotional thing. If you have a look at that incredible picture, we all know that these issues happen in China a lot, but I mean, it really is, you know, medieval. You know, strapping their necks to stop them bending, metal spikes poking into their necks, and then to remove their bile through the most obscene methods, just to get rid of a headache. Albeit they do say it also works on hemorrhoids as well, but not that we're going to go into great detail about that in the morning. It doesn't work at all, and it's just a disgrace. But I've got to say, thank God we have people out there like Animals Asia to continue the process of trying to help these poor defenceless creatures.
I want to jump ahead to a story in The Guardian, and this is talking about China. This is like, there's that movie, The Mummy. With Brendan Foster in it and Brendan Fraser.
And if you've had a bad bank holiday weekend with regards to the weather, just consider this. The beach could have come to you. Yeah, this is the forecast. It was expected to be cloudy, but probably weren't expecting this. Streets were buried in sand after a dust storm blew in from the Gobi Desert and hit Golmon. From the Gobi Desert to Golmon. In China. So if you didn't have a great bank holiday weekend, you could have had that coming at you. Giddy up.
And imagine
life's a beach.
Looking out the window and seeing that approach.
That's pretty for
I've been covered in volcanic ash. I'm fed up cleaning my
Have
car
you?
with volcanic ash or pollen or
Since when did you move to Iceland?
It's moving to us. And people will have noticed there's a yellow dust over all our cars, which is either some sort of sulphur or it's tree pollen. I'm not exactly sure which. We finished in the Times. Today it's hard to stop paying the price of fame.
Yeah, I think this is an interesting story. With the recent controversy and criticism of Britain's Got Talent and psychological pressure, there's a story here that is really worth a read in today's Times by Ben McIntyre, who gives two different views. One of a woman called Harper Lee, To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah.
Now, this particular story said just went back and just didn't want fame. And then they give also the other side of Susan Boyle, who is so-called, supposed had a breakdown since all the fame and all the money, etc., etc. Oh, look, it is just a really, really good piece about what fame is today. We live in an incredible world of celebrityism. It is a culture that children aspire to, but it's really, some can handle it, and some just can't. And I do think it's not necessarily because you've got talent or makeup or fame. I just think that there is an inbuilt gene that says, I can't deal with this. And that's why I think we see so many famous people go off the rails, because they're just not equipped to deal with it.
OK. Food for thought. Thank you very much indeed. Darren Lyons, thank you. Sunrise on Tuesday, 1st of June this morning. Let's find out what else is happening right across that. Here's Charlotte.
Thanks, Eamon. The Duchess of York claims that she'd been drinking before allegedly offering access to her ex-husband for £500,000 in her first television interview since being secretly filmed.